I am guided by imagination, open to my creation, creating wins and celebrations. Don't be overwhelmed by information, more important than education. Be inspired by your exploration, on the path to your destination, leading to innovation. Yes, you are guided by imagination.
Hello and welcome to our podcast today, Guided by Imagination, to help you access a level of inspiration, innovation, and possibilities to bring you more happiness, joy, kindness, and all that you want to achieve in your life using your imagination. And today I have a really special guest, Jim Lutes. Welcome, Jim.
Hey, thanks, Jenny, for having me on. Really an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Yay! And Jim is a great friend of mine and client of mine, and he is also one of the top hypnosis and mind experts in the world for the last 30 years. That's so amazing, Jim.
Yeah, especially since I'm only 35. It's extremely amazing, actually, Jenny.
It's
thanks
very
for
impressive.
I started young.
You have the gift. So, Jim, I specifically wanted to interview you because you are a hypnosis and mind expert. And our topic of being guided by imagination, I think, weaves in so well with, obviously, the limitless possibilities of your mind. And I'm curious to know, how has imagination made a difference for you in your life?
That's a great question, because actually the origin of everything, and some of your listeners may know this, begins in the imagination. The phone I'm holding, the chair I'm sitting on, the guitar I'm looking at, were all products of somebody's imagination before they were actually produced in reality. So the imagination can both be an ally and an adversary. And, using hypnosis as one modality, there's many, obviously, but using hypnosis as one, think of it as gasoline on the spark of imagination. It allows that imagination to grow roots, if you will. And the only challenge is you have to have the seed grow roots of positivity and advancement and success, versus growing the opposite of doubt, self-doubt, fear of failure, fear of success. So it's important that you pluck those negative weeds out before they do grow root systems. So imagination is exactly what we need to implement and integrate into our lives. Having done this for 30 years, what is expected tends to be realized. And that is one of the rules of the mind. So what is expected tends to be realized, meaning that what do you expect? If you look at Las Vegas, at one point it was just barren desert. And so what happened is two people went out there, hypothetically, and they stood there when there was no Las Vegas. And one, we said, what do you see, Bob? And he says, I see barren desert and cactus and rattlesnakes. I said, what do you see, Steve? And he said, I see a city greater than any city in the world that is the entertainment capital of the world. And, out in the desert, he saw with imagination what occurred. The other guy saw with vision. Second Steve saw with vision. One saw with sight and one saw with vision. Excuse me. So most of the time when people are progressing through life, they see with sight, meaning the next day, the next week. However, if you're going to build a business or you're looking to do something else, you have to see with vision. You have to see what's not yet there, because there's no other way it works. You have to see what's not there. Then you need to be excited and anticipate the result. Otherwise, you might just see what is currently there. And that's where people reinforce lack. They reinforce the opposite of abundance. They reinforce because they're reinforcing their current situation and not allowing the imagination to create a new reality for them where they're going. They're incapable by focusing on the destination. And that's where you really elicit and integrate the powers of the mind that are just latent until you activate them.
Ooh, that's cool. I love how you talked about it like a root system, or pulling the weeds from getting the negative aspects of your imagination so that you can really integrate and focus on the positive?
You can. One of the simple exercises that I tell people to do is become a third-party observer of your thoughts. Just pretend they're not your thoughts. Just pretend. Just suppose. We're playing in a playground here. So we're just in our imagination. So just suppose that you're an observer of your thoughts. And as you have thoughts, just imagine that you're a third party. You select what thoughts you want to keep that serve you in whatever capacity, and then which ones you're not willing to keep. So it could be, nope, this one's going over here. This one's going over there too. This one I like. This one I like. This is filled with love and abundance and happiness and success. Come on over here. You stay over. No, you go over there. And it allows you to be the observer and, if you will, the referee of your own thoughts versus thinking I have to accept them all. No, you don't. They're just clouds passing by. You can select the ones you want to keep that progress you, or you can take the ones that hold you back as well. Now you're driving the car with one foot on the accelerator, one on the brake pedal. You'll never get to where you want to go as fast as you want to go unless you have the ability to eliminate and incinerate and get rid of those thoughts of doubt and whatever they may be that's holding you back.
That's good. I like thinking about it as a referee or a bouncer or something. You have the ability to decide. You can choose which ones you want to keep. That's so important.
And then once you decide which ones you want to keep, then you can amplify those using hypnosis or psychosomatic parenthetics or some modality, neurolinguistics, that allow you to amplify those thoughts. So, excuse me, think of a glass of wine. And I know you've never had a glass of wine, Jenny, but just
I was kind of fantasizing about having a glass of wine, yes.
Suppose that glass of wine. And so in that glass of wine, it's half full. Okay. So those are your negative thoughts. Those are the imprints. Those are, whatever it is that you have in your mind that is not good. Okay. Now I want you to imagine a picture of clear water. And that is your new programming. That is your hypnotic programming. That is your subconscious reprogramming. Now, you're going to pour that pitcher of water slowly into that glass of wine. As you pour that water into the glass of wine, the wine dilutes. It becomes red to pink. And as you continue to pour that glass of spring water into that glass of wine, pretty soon, the only thing that's left is the pure spring water. So and the wine was diluted until it was gone. So as you use strategies and tactics of the human mind, which are the spring water, pouring them in, you dilute all of the self-doubt, you dilute all of the fear of criticism, need for approval, fear of success, fear of failure. You dilute all of that until all that is left is the purity of the thoughts that serve your progression in life, whether that be emotions, relationships, money, or health.
I love that. That's a good visual. But
still have a glass of wine.
Yeah. Moral of the story is. Oh, that's good. And I like so what would you recommend to our listeners you mentioned an activity, obviously the third party, and noticing, would it be just journaling about it? Is there something specific that they should do?
I would be doing something that other people don't do. So the reason that people call me a mind expert is because I'm an expert in the mind. So the reason some people pluck around on the guitar and other people become virtuosos on the guitar is simply that they're practicing and utilizing and advancing the techniques on the guitar, or salsa dancing, or karate, or anything else. So I would never look at simplicity as the end game. I would look at it as the starting point. So when you play the guitar, you're going to learn a G chord, a D chord, and a C chord, but that's not learning to play the guitar. Yes, technically you can play the guitar, but you can be a lot better at the guitar. And you can be a lot better with your own mind. So I would have them reach out to me, and whether it be programs, seminars, training, events, or client acquisition, you let me know what fits you. If not me, then somebody. But yes, fundamentally, you can do journaling, but the journaling is coming out of the glass of wine. So it becomes a representation of what's in the mind. You haven't you haven't corrected the negative thoughts, which, like I said, is driving the car with one foot on the gas pedal and one foot on the brake. So what do we do to go faster? We push harder on the gas pedal and harder and harder and harder till the engine screws up. When in reality, we didn't know that we can go from 40 to 80 if we just took our damn left foot off the brake pedal. The car's capable of going 80, but we're restricting it. So we need to release the brakes.
That's good. I really like what you just said about the car's capable of going 80, because I heard a statistic about that we're only using 15% of our brain power. And what if we could harness more of that for good, for us moving forward to be our best selves, to live our best life. And
yeah, well, most people are not, not existing in a body that is the best version of that body that they're capable of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same thing. You got to go to the gym. Got to learn to work out. Got to learn to eat right. Same thing with the mind. You can sit and dream and hope that it all is going to happen. Say I wanted to meet the love of my life, and I'm single. So I want to meet the love of my life. I can sit here all day and do affirmations. I can sit here all day and do mantras. I can sit here all day and journal. She's not going to appear in a puff of smoke in my living room. It's not going to happen. There needs to be action that precedes it, and the action should partially be directed on learning how to use your mind. No different than, I have 2 arms and 2 legs, thank God. So does everybody else, for the most part. Not everybody, but a lot of people, the majority of people do. But they can't fight as good as a karate guy or a boxer because they haven't learned to use the tools. So think of the mind in the same way. How much time is somebody spending actually learning the tools of how to utilize their subconscious and how to utilize their mind? Most people don't, because it's not a tangible. You can look at your hand, you can't look at your mind. So science can recreate the human body in a laboratory for the most part. They know what the chemical breakdown is, but when it came time to put the mind in, they didn't know where it was. You can't take the mind out and put it on a laboratory table, but you can the brain, but you can't do the mind because nobody knows where it is. It's everywhere. You're a conduit for it. It doesn't exist only and solely inside your head. It actually doesn't even exist inside your head. It's everywhere, and you're simply a portal or a conduit into that. So to utilize that, to learn how to utilize it, you now access a far greater influence over your outcomes than just if you were not to learn to use it.
That's so good. Yes, you are definitely an expert. And I love how you talk about the mind, too, because that's a conversation that a lot of people couldn't, like you mentioned, pinpoint where their mind is. And a lot of people think about it as the brain, but really the powers that you have shared, I know when I've seen you speak and heard your stories and the insights that you have to share are so powerful about what has changed for your life, your health, and in different situations, the obstacles that you've overcome. And I definitely want to invite people to connect with you and learn more about workshops that you're doing and things.
Sure, absolutely. We've got seminars, we have trainings, we have a lot because this is what I do, and I feel, as my life mission. Of course, it became a business, but in my life mission is to, unlock, release the brakes. So let's get that foot off the brake pedal because you're going 40 when you could be going 80 without any more effort. You just have to release what's holding you back. It's not that you need to do more and more and more and more and more. You just need to release the brakes and let the car do what it naturally does with the accelerator down where it already is. Then you can decide if you want to push it down even further. So, they can reach out to me at info@lutesinternational.com. That's all spelled out, LUTES, international spelled out.com, info. Or they can reach me at mindpowerpro@yahoo.com, mindpowerpro@yahoo.com. Also, they can reach out on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. And I'm happy. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn as Jim Lutes, Instagram as Jim Lutes Mind. And just reach out. I'm happy to jump on a call with anybody. I know you're so busy, and I am so busy, but I'm never too busy to even spend 5 minutes and get a person to at least get them to take that left foot off the brake pedal for a while so they can feel the exhilaration without what's holding them back being there any longer.
Perfect. And we'll definitely put your links in the show notes so people can connect with you in other ways and continue this conversation. It's so important and vital.
Well, I want to thank you not only for your expertise and not only for your entrepreneurship. I have the California license plate entrepreneur, so I know that what you do just doesn't happen by magic. I want to thank you for your expertise in being what I consider the preeminent event photographer in all of California, if not everywhere else. You've always been a consummate professional. And then lastly, but not least, I want to thank you for your friendship. You're just a quality person. And at this point, that's really the only people at 35 years old, that's the only people that I really want to have around me is somebody that is at least reciprocal in quality. And no, I'm not really 35, audience. That was a Jim and Jennie joke.
Aw, thanks so much for your kind words. I really appreciate that, Jim. I'm so thankful that you were here today and sharing your insights and your expertise. And I look forward to other ways that we can share this message to help make a difference in people's lives.
Thank you.
Yes. And for those of you listening, I appreciate your time today. And I invite you to take the next step to really unlocking the power of your mind, your imagination, to bring more awareness, more insights, more beauty, grace, love, joy, happiness to your life in powerful ways. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks again, Jim, for being here. Bye.